I was on the streets down there on Capitol and MLK, and I was in active addiction of buying alcohol and liquor 24 hours a day, smoking crack as much as I could panhandle the money to get. And on October 12th, I come to the park up there on Peachtree and Edgewood, and I talked to a few guys about what was going on with Occupy Atlanta and what they were doing with his life, and Copper was one of them. And he explained to me that, you know, he used to be in the same boat as I am, and that by joining Occupy Atlanta, it gave him a new perspective in life and a new desire to change, and that how it had brought him out of the depths of living behind a wall with him and his dog in filth, and that if I was willing and I was wanting to, that I was welcome, and that Occupy Atlanta would help me with food and you know, possibly clothing and things like that, that he had a tent for me to stay in. And so I joined up, and at first, you know, I was still drinking quite heavily, but it was almost instantaneous that I left the crack cocaine alone. It was like when I got involved and I started, you know, doing the things that they were doing, picking up trash. I mean, the minorest things that there was, just picking up trash off the ground 3 or 4 times a day, walking around with a bucket. It just changed that whole desire. I didn't even want to go down to those areas no more where I was, you know, hanging out and doing the drugs. And as I got to know more people in Occupy Atlanta, and I realized that they wasn't doing those things and it wasn't acceptable. And that gave me desire to just stop it altogether. And by the grace of God, since October 12th, I've never touched crack cocaine again. And here recently, when I was in the park, I was arrested 7 times for having a beer in the park. And then I went to jail each time. And this last time, I was so sick. I've never been going through DTs in my life, and I was so sick from alcoholism that when I went to the bathroom, when I went to go take a leak, it came out both ends as taking a leak. And I told myself then, I said, you know, I've got to do something with my life. I got to change. And it just so happened that he was there with me. And I told him that, you know, hey, I want to change, man. I'm tired of it. And he encouraged me, and he said, look, Occupy Atlanta is still going to be here when it's all said and done. Go get yourself clean and come back, and, you know, that way you can be more involved and you can better, you know, better represent what we're trying to do. And that's what I've done with my life. Last Thursday, I got out of jail, and I'm in a program called Transitional Housing Incorporated, and I go to meetings every day, and I'm accountable for 6 other people in my house. And right now, you know, what I'm trying to do is, you know, get my food stamp started, get on SSI so I can support myself and just stay clean a day at a time. And today I'm down here just celebrating with my brother that, you know, I've got 3 weeks clean today. All right. And that I believe in what we're down here doing for the people of America, for the people of Atlanta. And, you know, when it's all said and done, that, you know, I want to be a part of this and continue on doing what I'm doing.
All right, Copper, you want to say anything?
Yeah, down at Troy Davis Park, Tony's one of the worst ones of them all. But we just kept loving him. We just kept, you know, showing that grace and that mercy, and just kept loving on him, and, you know, just kept holding on to him. Just wouldn't let him go, man. You know, by the grace of God, man, you know. Just him sitting here today, man, is a miracle. It shows you that Occupy Atlanta not just saving houses, his job. Shit, we saving lives.
Amen. Amen.
We saving lives.
That's right. Giving people a desire to change.
Saving lives. It works. Becoming an activist work.
Giving me a purpose in life.
My story, you know, like 31 years of crack cocaine. Since I've been an activist, I ain't did no dope. No dope.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Occupy Atlanta.
It works. Love is the only solution.
That's right.
Just gonna push this revolution.
In God we trust. Every day.
We trust. We don't lie. We don't cry.
We just occupy. We don't smoke crack because that shit is whack.
We just fight hard to get our lives back.
In God we trust.